I'm glad I watched all those HGTV shows because today we are doing a production inside this house. We're going to show the before and come back a couple weeks, couple months, however long it takes, and get the afters. So you can find out in the last vlog how I got this job, but essentially they wanted production and post-production, and I told them I only deal in production. So I'm going to be shooting on site and then handing over footage. That is my favorite method of working, and this is a very, very simple setup.
It sat there.
So we have a key light, a little bit of fill, and then a rim light. That is usually, a pretty simple 3-light setup. And you have to be cognizant when you're in a home renovation show that they might not have power. So a couple of my fixtures are battery powered. I really do like that. And when you're shooting against a window like that, you need a lot of output. The 200X is doing okay. It's definitely not the best. But using my new E-Image GH06 tripod, I'm pretty happy with the legs and head, as long as I remember to securely lock in the plate when I put it in, because it can fall out. But this LED panel has battery power, which is nice. Don't have to worry about outlets or anything like that. And it's bicolor. It's super cheap. Not that powerful, but for my lighting setups, it usually does the job. And then you can see the rim light on her hair. That is coming from my Aperture 60D, which I really wish I had bought the 60X. I would have taken the reduction in output to have bicolor. We are moving on to the walk and talk portion. I was gonna de-rig my FX6, but I rented my friend's A7S III, which isn't here. I think I'm just gonna go that route. I should have brought those filters that Freewell gave me, but I didn't do that. So we're gonna go ND-less, which is fine. We don't need a shallow depth of field for like real estate work, architecture work. As someone who took film classes in college but really doesn't attribute anything I've learned from that school, I learned everything by experience and by YouTube and by the education modules that I've taken from the Art of Documentary. Today, they're opening their early bird pricing. If anybody is interested in those modules, preferably I like the module 2 because they talked about documentary, and the create and earn because I just needed a little bit of guidance with business. Well, they're doing their early bird specials right now. So I highly recommend using the discount code I have to get 10% more off, 40% off in total. That is the best way to get into the Art of Documentary. I would not pay full price. Do not pay that. Use this discount. They're going to be open just for a few days for early bird, and then it's going to go to normal full price. Don't buy it then. If you have any questions, if it's worth it, I will say I have gotten a lot out of it. Your results may vary because it's all about how much you engage with the community. You get access to that Facebook group. That is huge. So for me, it's a community worth buying into, and right now you can get a massive discount. I need some dappling shooting through the blinds, so we're going to use the 60D. It's daylight balanced. Put it at 100% with the reflector, and it's just giving a nice little breakup on the wall inside. So, and we're V-mount powering, so I really like that. Although I wish it had an integrated V-mount and not a D-tap cable. I love having conversations with other entrepreneurs and freelancers, and they talk about their business, and then I say, oh, have you tried it this way? This has worked for me. And they say, no, but I did this way. I love that conversation. And that is what I'm hoping to have more of. I'm holding the Dallas Filmmakers Meetup September 17th. It's limited capacity, so you got to get a ticket. It's in the Eventbrite link that is in the comments. I'm really excited for this one. I think there's a bunch of creators who are shoulder to shoulder in Dallas, but they're not talking to each other. And that's the point of the night, is to just talk with people, have those conversations that you only have few and far between, nerd out on cameras. And this is going to be the biggest one yet. I like that I'm kind of now doing these around the US, maybe around the world, I don't know. This is going to be the one in Dallas. I'm not going to come back. It's a one-night thing, and there's limited capacity. So let's have those conversations. Let's network, nerd out on cameras, and it's coming up really soon. So make sure you get a ticket, and I'll see you guys there. 3, 2, 1.
So you come up the stairs, you come into this loft area.
Here we go. Action.
Now let me show you exactly where that bathroom is gonna go. It's in this dark little attic room that you see here is where it's going to fit. Right back here is...
This is my favorite interview setup. I really, really just like this camera. But for the walk and talk, this is 100% the right choice. I'm glad I brought it. For a second, I didn't think I was gonna use it, but just the ease of articulation on the screen, the lightweight body, and the way the buttons are oriented, it's just the right call for gimbal work. I wish I had put the USB-C cable in here so I could have done the run, stop, record button right there. But I'm probably gonna end up getting one of these alpha cams, and most likely an A7S III, just because I really do want that viewfinder. And you guys know I have the 24-70 Mark II. Absolutely love this lens. It's lighter than the Mark I, smaller than the Mark I, and has this iris ring. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, the Mark II of the 16-35 just came out. So on one hand, I'm bummed because I bought this like a month or two ago, but I was able to get it for $1,100. It's a steal. It's $2,000 normally, and the Mark II is now $2,400. So I wouldn't want to be spending $2,400, but I am really, really missing that manual iris ring. That is a bigger feature than I thought it would be. And same thing, a little lighter, a little smaller. So hopefully soon I'll have Mark IIs on all of my G Master zooms, and that means the next one would be the 7200 Mark II, which is, I think, $3,000. All right, let's get this footage onto my hard drive. Just as a backup, I'm gonna Dropbox them the actual media. This is how this shot ended up going. So I love how she's moving between frames. It's much more dynamic, new points of interest, keeps the viewer more visually engaged rather than if I just said, hey, stay there and point to what you're talking about. So I like adding those little bits, those elements, they make a big difference. Okay, I still need a pack, and I just did a consultation call, but this guy is fighting on Dana White's Contender Series, and I filmed him in the MMA Docuseries. So if he makes it to the UFC, that just helps our project even more. And I say our project, I'm barely involved in it. I've shot for them like 3 times. It would be massive for him, and like I said, massive for this show that they are targeting to get on a Netflix. So fingers crossed. So he gets dropped, right? But he's fine. And then the ref steps in. Oh man. It's an early stoppage in my opinion.
Horrible ref stoppage. Horrible ref stoppage. One of the worst ref stoppages I've ever seen. And we're going to give Ramon another shot on episode 10 to come in and try it again.
Well, it looks like his story continues, so that could be really good for the docuseries. Who else is blue mooning, pulling out the dusty Tamron 150-600 and getting real tight on it? It's looking good.